Folks, it's Fernando doing a video for More Survivalists, and in this video it's going to be 5 reasons why you should have an air gun or soft air gun version of your real firearm. Now, if you're interested in the video reviewing this one in particular, this is an official licensed product of Glock made by Umerix, which is a German manufacturer of air guns. That would be the previous video where I showed this one more in detail. Now, there are 5 reasons. Number 1 would be price. This one, and I'm going to be leaving the link below in Amazon in case you're interested in purchasing the airsoft version of this gun, is price. These go for, I paid $100. I think the linked version in Amazon, which is not exactly this one, because this one is a 4.5mm steel. The other one is the airsoft version, is 150, 170 bucks. It's still quite affordable. And again, if you're having a different gun, follow the link and check whatever other gun Umerix is making, because Umerix makes not only the Glock, but they make copies of the P99, of the SIG, of the Smith, M&P. So whatever gun you have, try looking for the one that is the exact same thing in airsoft version, so as to have the most advantages. Really not that expensive. Number 2 would be price of ammunition, and because of how cheap it is, it quickly pays for itself in just a few boxes of ammo. These ones fire 4.5 steel BBs. These are 3 or 4 bucks for 1,500 of them. So 1,500 BBs, 3 or 4 bucks, really cannot do any cheaper than that. And it uses these canisters that cost less than $1 each. One of these lasts for 50, 60 rounds easily. So even if you round it up for, good round numbers, $1 per 50 rounds fired, there's really nothing in live ammunition that even comes close to how cheap this is. All right, so that would be number 2, the price of ammunition, ridiculously low. Number 3, and this is the big one for me, is training. You're talking about a gun that has the same geometry. Trigger pull is quite similar to an actual Glock. It's not the same, but similar enough. This one has no working slide, but the one that I'm linking to in Amazon, the BB, the 6mm airsoft BB version of this one, made by Umerix, has a working slide version as well. If you check it out and you find it, they do make that model as well. So you have the same, pretty much the same geometry, even the same sights, and you can use the same gear and holsters depending on the model that you're getting. As close as you get, the better. You also have the advantage of training in your house. So we're talking about money and time as well, which are 2 very valuable resources that we have. You don't have to jump into your car, drive to the range. You can set up a little range in your house, in your basement or garage. I did this. I made these cardboard target things, a piece of wood and several layers of cardboard and tape holding it together. And these are little movable targets that I can just pull out whenever I feel like practicing a little bit. And even besides that, you can place these in different parts of the house and do training there, maybe work with someone else. So it allows for a lot of flexibility in the scenario where you're likely to face a home invader. It's not in a firing range, it's not in the shooting range at the gun club, it's in your house, where everything is, of course, far more realistic in terms of how things would actually go down. That's just so great in terms of training and keeping things as real as you can. Moving around the house with your gun, having these targets, boom, 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 practicing that sort of thing. It's also great for introducing new shooters. All of this in the aspect of training for maybe your kids or someone that's new to shooting. The same safety, of course, applies. These are not toys. These are quite powerful and can certainly take your eye out. Safety glasses are as mandatory, as needed as in an actual fire, maybe even more, because these things bounce like crazy. So I'm going to be training gun safety in terms of your trigger, in terms of keeping the muzzle pointed in a safe direction, having an idea of what's downrange, staying in front, staying in the back of where the muzzle is being pointed. All of these things, it's much safer in spite of having an inherent risk because it's not a toy, but it's still much safer than introducing someone, especially kids and such, than starting right away with a real firearm. Number 4, and this is going to be for the steel BB versions, would be Pest Control. Now, I'm talking specifically, this is a 6mm plastic BB airsoft version. This one is a 4.5mm steel BB version, which has quite more power. And I've killed countless birds and little pests with this in my youth and later on in life as well. But my point is, for small birds, rats, and some maybe a bat, those kind of little pests at close range, you can take those out with these steel BBs. Now, you may be thinking, at 22, well, yeah, sure, but in your house, you may not want to be firing an actual firearm, even if that's at 22. It may even be downright illegal for you to do so, depending on where you're living. In general, in the suburbs, and let alone in the city, in most cases, look into your own laws, but in general, it's probably illegal for you to discharge a firearm in city limits. So, something happens like that, you have this kind of thing, you can actually take it down without using a gun or hitting it with a crowbar like I did a few days ago with a certain thing. Number 5 finally would be force and force training with like-minded people. If you have a friend, someone that you feel comfortable enough training with, you can use these. Well, not this one because this is a steel BB, but the plastic airsoft 6mm BBs, yes, these, or the one that's linking to an Amazon, which is this same thing but in airsoft version, those you cannot use for killing pests, but you can use it for force and force training. You do need, of course, to be responsible using the right gear, face mask, gloves, that sort of thing. But for force and force training, airsoft versions of the gun that you actually train with, your real live firearm, those are very much ideal. I've been in classes where we've used airsoft guns for these exercises, and you do learn a lot in them. So I do recommend that if you have someone else to practice with, a few people to train with together. Folks, it's going to be all for now. Remember to subscribe. Take care. Hit that notification bell button, because if not, you're not going to be getting any videos from me as I keep uploading them later on. That's going to be all for now. Remember to subscribe. Take care. See you in our next video.